Did you know that one of Thomas Edison's greatest breakthroughs began with an empty stomach, one borrowed dollar, and a broken machine that stopped Wall Street in its tracks? This is the story of how a hungry 22-year-old almost fainted not because he hadn't eaten, but because someone offered him $40,000 for an invention he expected to sell for just a few thousand. Let's rewind. It's 1869. A 22-year-old Thomas Alva Edison steps off a ferry in New York City. He's broke. Completely broke. No job, no home, and barely anything to eat. Desperate, he turns to the only people he knows in the city, to fellow telegraph operators. The first friend lends him $1, and Edison does exactly what you'd expect. He spends it immediately on food. His second friend, Franklin L. Pope, a telegraph engineer on Wall Street, is even more generous. Pope lets Edison sleep in his office for the night at the Gold Indicator Company, a firm that sends real-time gold and silver prices across the country. It's not exactly a hotel, but Edison doesn't complain. More importantly, Pope offers him a few small jobs. Nothing glamorous, but for Edison, it's a lifeline. And he is about to prove he is the right man in the right place at the right time. The Gold Indicator Company is a critical part of America's financial heartbeat. Every minute, prices of gold and silver are transmitted via telegraph to hundreds of operators. One day, disaster strikes. The company's central machine, the one that distributes price updates, suddenly breaks down. Instant chaos. Hundreds of brokers lose access to price quotes. Trading stops. Wall Street comes to a halt. Panic spreads among the executives. And someone finally says, "Call that Edison guy. Maybe he can fix it." Edison arrives, calm and focused. He studies the machine, he tinkers, he improvises. And within 2 hours, the system is running again. Just like that, the chaos evaporates. The company's leaders are stunned and relieved. Right there on the spot, Edison is offered a full-time job. It's his first real step into the world of high-tech communications. Working inside the Gold Indicator Company gives Edison a front-row seat to Wall Street's biggest problem. They need a faster, more accurate way to transmit stock prices. So Edison gets to work. He designs a brand new device, a telegraphic stock printer capable of printing both numbers and letters. He patents it and names it the Edison Universal Stock Printer, later known around the world as the stock ticker. Soon after, he approaches Western Union, another major company on Wall Street, hoping to sell his invention. He plans to ask for $5,000, but then he second-guesses himself. Maybe $3,000 is enough, he thinks, terrified of asking for too much. When he presents the device, Western Union's president, Marshall Lefferts, is clearly impressed. Instead of naming a price, Edison nervously suggests, "Why don't you make me an offer?" Lefferts pauses, then says, "How about $40,000? Edison nearly faints. $40,000 in 1869 would be worth more than $1 million today. He manages to stammer out a thank you and walks out with the biggest check of his life. When Edison gets home, he is terrified. What if someone steals the money? What if this unbelievable stroke of luck suddenly disappears? So he dumps the entire sum on his bed and spends the whole night counting it, over and over and over again. He can't sleep. He just keeps counting, afraid it might vanish if he stops looking at it. But it didn't vanish, and that $40,000 became the seed money that allowed Thomas Edison to build his first full laboratory, the place where he would go on to create some of his most famous inventions, from hunger and desperation, to a broken machine on Wall Street, to a $40,000 shock that almost knocked him out. This was the turning point that launched Thomas Edison's extraordinary career. Sometimes, history changes not with a big idea, but with a small opportunity, and someone being ready when it appears. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like and subscribe for more amazing tales from history. See you next time.